Hello and welcome back to High Ridge Farm, with me, the Walrus. As you can see, we're now entering into our final week of the winter season, which means that it is only a couple of days until the Feast of the Winter Star, which is a glorious celebration where I need to give Jodi a gift. And as you can see, because I've been throwing large quantities of maple syrup at everybody, which apparently they quite enjoy, I've been getting a lot of new recipes. So that's a mixture of food and crafting, which is lovely stuff. And I'm certainly going to need to cook all of that at some point. Now, I've got a vast quantity of winter forageables here that need growing, which shouldn't be too bad. I still think that, hopefully by Sunday they'll be grown, because otherwise it's going to end badly, and they'll all be destroyed by the season change, because we are so very close to year 2. Now, as I've mentioned previously, I am going to look at doing some mods. So what I'm probably going to do is actually having a look through some mods as a video, as a standalone, and seeing what extra things that I could potentially get a hold of and what might be interesting to add. I probably should also ask on the subreddit, but I have a sneaking suspicion I'll probably get a bunch of really dumb responses, because that's how Reddit works. Now, as you can see, I've got one iridium bar there. Feeling excited about that, believe me. Now, I'm just going to quickly check inside the greenhouse, as I have a sneaking suspicion. Here we go. So we've got a lot of star fruit ready, got an artichoke, a couple of cactus fruit, and a bunch of hot peppers. Now, the peppers I'm probably going to remove soon enough, as I don't really need that many of those currently growing inside my greenhouse, just because I don't really care. To be awful and blunt about it, they're not that helpful in the grand scheme of things, because I'm looking for high value products that I can grow in here. I will probably get a couple of planters and put a couple of them in planters in here, as that's I think is fine, but I still need to plant a few more trees in here as well. And obviously, having sold a large quantity of starfruit wine, I've already got myself 46 grand, which is quite a nice amount. I'm probably going to have a quick visit to Marnie so I can grab myself a auto grabber, so that'll allow me to sort out the coop with minimal effort. Now, of course, again, the tree fertilizer has been benefiting me the last couple of days with all of these lovely trees that I'm going to cut down, as that gives me a bit more wood, which is a kind of quite great importance right now. And unfortunately, I don't think with this one remaining week I'm going to be able to get enough iridium to actually upgrade any of my tools, as a lot of my focus has been on organising everything else rather than the iridium, which of course I can only obtain in the desert or through omnigeodes if I'm lucky. Now, as I've mentioned before, I'm looking forward to completing the community centre, because I'll then start being able to look into access to Ginger Island, which, as mentioned previously, you need to complete the community centre bundles completely before you have access to that. Now, I don't think that's going to be too difficult. I think I need 3 or 4 items, one of them being a year 2 exclusive, the red cabbage, for the dye bundle. But everything else, I think I know I need some pomegranates as well. It shouldn't be too hard. Okay, so the super cucumbers want an oyster. Now, I might need to make a couple more crab pots, because they spawn in those on the beach. But they can also be found washed up on the shore. So we'll see how well that goes. I'm just going to quickly fling a few items into my vendor box that I don't need, like the mayonnaise. I'll hold on to the starfruit, because of course I can turn that into wine. Even the gold quality ones I'm still going to turn into wine, because it's just more valuable, really, at the end of the day. I do need more kegs, however. That's going to be a major consideration for me, is I need more kegs to produce more wine. Now, I think that's iron bars, copper bars, and wood. And I think oak resin as well. Now, one of the things I need to do today is I'm clearing out this blasted chest. I've got too many rings, too many things, and too much guff. It's probably an easy way of putting it. Because I want to sell all of those to the Adventurers Guild. It's just... I don't need it, and it's just in the way, and it's annoying me. I think that's really the easiest way of putting it, is I've got too much random guff. Now, so I'm going to make myself some kegs. There we go. So I've got 5 more kegs. I need more oak resin. That's not impossible to get a hold of. Now, what I should probably do is organise where I put these kegs, because just randomly slapping them down everywhere like I am doing at the moment isn't the greatest plan, I don't think. But it's a quick money-making thing. I do want to build a shed to actually store them. So that's going to be a major consideration for me in the coming week or weeks, as I think that'll probably be quite helpful. Now, I've got all of those weapons that I'm going to sell, which is fine. I've got all that fertilizer, and I've got a few other seeds, mixed seeds and garlic and such. I probably should plant some of those in the, what's it called? The greenhouse. Okay, so put my eel roe in there, ready for my kegs. Not kegs, preserves jar. I would like to actually have a bit more, in the way of numbers of both preserve jars and kegs, as I think that would be quite helpful. Now, considering Clint isn't a fond fan of daffodils, I'm going to give him a gold bar today. And of course, I'm going to head up and around, going past the Adventurers Guild, because that's where I really need to go. Well, that's where I need to go to clear out the space inside one of the chests today. Now, as you can see, the trees have not yet regrown because, of course, they haven't. It's the winter. Kind of a given and understandable statement in that regard. Now, I'm just going to quickly pot around. I could probably should give Linus a gift or 3. I can't remember what Linus likes either. That's the problem. I keep getting him confused with George. With regards to what they like, and I think that's oh, okay, so it's locked for another hour. Well, in that case, I'm going to cut down a tree or 2. I'm sure there might be a tree in the quarry area, so let's go investigate. Well, nothing down there that I can attack. That looks really creepy though, the really weird dried up riverbed, which doesn't really seem to lead anywhere. It's a bit weird. Okay, so there's no actual trees here. That's weird and annoying. Okay, so it looks like we're just going to potter on back over to the Adventurers Guild. I mean, it's very close to 2 o'clock when they open, which is fine. Just, yeah, stand there and swing my sword. That's how this works, right? Okay, so let's sell all of these miscellaneous weapons that I definitely do not need. Don't need those rings, don't need those, don't need that, or that. Excellent. Okay, so that's cleared up a lot of space. That's wonderful stuff. I feel a lot better now that I actually have some space. I've already got the space boots, so there's no point in really looking into those. Let's have a quick check and see. So I still need a lot more slimes, a lot more bats, a few more skeletons, quite a lot more mummies and rock crabs. So I've still got quite a few more things to kill before I unlock some rewards. I think the Duggies is probably going to be the easiest one, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm sitting comfortably at a nice 50 grand now, so that feels quite good. I wouldn't mind having a bit more, but meh. Ah, how convenient. Abigail, have an amethyst. You're literally there. One of the many people I needed to see today. And Maple Syrup Man strikes again as he runs around distributing large quantities of maple syrup. Now, one of the things I want to have a quick look is just some of the costs for building some of these buildings. So it's 300 wood. I don't think that's impossible. I I just need to remember to get the 300 wood and actually come back up. Let's go in here. Hello, Sebastian. I bring you maple syrup. I mean, I don't really know what you do if a random man just appears and starts handing out maple syrup. Especially when, like, he's come into your bedroom and gone, maple syrup. No pancakes or Belgian waffles or anything else that should have maple syrup on it. Just maple syrup. Now, I remember there was a thing saying as I've hidden something behind the community centre. Well, is it in one of these bushes? No, no idea. I might have to investigate that a little bit more thoroughly. I'll have to have a look at the note again. I'm pretty sure it just says they've hidden something, but there might be more of a clue. Again, could be very wrong. And Lewis, have yourself a pepper. Okay. And in here, we're going to be distributing more maple syrup. Some more for Leia. I still always get the name just fuddled. I really, really need to look up actually the pronunciation of it. So I did actually find out recently there is a website that does actually give you the pronunciation of certain words. Can't remember the name of it though. But at the same time, really useful. Especially with my horrible dyslexia. Okay, so Maru doesn't actually like maple syrup. Well, she can go away. I mean, how dare she not like maple syrup? Rude. Maybe she's diabetic like I actually am, so who knows? Okay, so these two, nice and easy, because conveniently, here's a sunflower. And your sister is nowhere to be seen. Helpful. Okay, so I'm going to head into the sewer because I have some void mayonnaise for Krobus. I don't think he's got anything particularly exciting for sale on Mondays. We'll see. No, he does not. So that's a shame. I was hoping he'd have something a little bit more interesting, but apparently he does not. How very inconvenient of him. How dare he not have something useful. Okay, so we've got another opportunity. So Robin wants 1,000 pieces of wood. Now that's actually quite hard to do considering the weather. I'm going to do the ectoplasm one. So that's another combat-based one, unfortunately. So it does mean I've got to go back into the mines. Memory serves, the ghosts spawn in the floors of the freezing variety. So if it's cold outside, there's no kind of atmosphere where I'm all alone, more or less. I'm going to stop there before I start singing the Red Dwarf theme tune. If it's cold in the mines, then I can find ghosts. Ah, so a cutscene for... What the hell is that? That is disgusting. I gave you 100 individual... What did you do? What? Is he like a wizard? Or something? What on earth homunculus nastiness is that thing? That's horrific. Oh my god, Willy. What did you do? Yeah, okay, that's not what I expected. I've never done that quest before, as you can probably tell, because what on... Ugh. Good lord. Okay, so now I'm going to get that out of my mind. I need a thorough brain cleanse. So does anyone have any mind bleach? Because, goodness gracious, do I need some now? I think what I'm going to do is I might even pause the video, go and grab a guinea pig out and just put him in his little basket on my desk. Because his little face, and then he can just sit there and look at me. And probably be quite grumpy because I'm running out of pea flakes in my office. Because yes, I have guinea pig treats in my office, ready for them. Nutmeg is my one of my oldest pair. He's 5.5, and he's a very contented little boy. He'll sit in his little dog basket that I've got, and just happily just be there. He's quite content. Okay, so we've got another cutscene in the bar. So Gus, okay, you're taking my order. Fine and dandy. You do that, mate. Okay. Oh, it's an Elliot cutscene. Oh. That's an 8-hour writing session, yeah. Again, just everything about his character makes me hate him. He's just too pretentious. He acts like somebody who thinks that the Victorian era is the highlight and pinnacle of humanity, but really it wasn't, and that he feels better than everyone. And also, it's just an ale. How are you that much of a lightweight, Elliot? You just disappoint me. I just really do not like him. Oh, blast, I've accidentally skipped a cutscene there. So that was a Clint cutscene, I believe, and I've just totally fudged it. I might actually have to look that up on YouTube and actually see what that cutscene actually does. Oops. I feel a bit silly now. So I'm going to buy a couple of beers. So I do genuinely feel guilty whenever I buy a beer for Shane. Even though I know it's his favourite gift. It's that and pizza, I think. It's very much of a, I know it's a loved gift, but I really think you should stop drinking, Shane. Why am I doing that to myself? It genuinely hurts me deeply. Like, it's really stupid that... It's one of the things, like, I'm sure it's the same when it comes to different games and different people. So, I played as a Paragon when I played through Mass Effect. It took a lot for me to play as a Renegade character. Like, it really did. It was very hard. And it's the same when I was playing, like, Fallout 3 back in the day. I found it so difficult to be an evil character. Then again, a lot of the quest lines do just force you to actually be good. You can't really help that one. But I still find it difficult to be a nasty, evil character. It depends on who it is, but most of the time I find it very hard. Okay, so one of the things that I do need to do today is I also need to obtain myself some hardwood. Okay, well, I've actually knocked the slime off the edge of the map, so it's definitely not coming back. So I can get 12 hardwood a day from the this little secret foresty bit. I did not mean to hit him with an axe. So him. I think that is a male slime, actually, with the weird accessory headpiece. I think that's how it works. I could be wrong. Because when it comes to slime breeding, I think you need a male and a female one in the slime hutch and things, stuff colouring in. You know. Right, I still haven't grown a sweet gemberry. Have I actually got any rare seeds? I'm pretty sure I bought one. I need to check all my boxes at some point and actually see if I have any rare seeds. Because I need to plant that in the greenhouse. Just so I can actually get one of the damn sweet gemberries. I've got some ancient seeds, definitely. But, goodness knows otherwise. Right, there we go. So we've got some clay. That's not the end of the world, sort of, when it comes to useful. Die slime. Well, got some health back. Lovely stuff. And also, generally, just murdering slimes isn't exactly difficult. And, of course, does count towards my murdering slimes goal of 1,000 that I need to kill. Again, not impossible. Just a thing that needs to be done. So there's quite a few other miscellaneous things like that I still need to work my way through. And I think that a fair few of them are going to be achieved in the Skull Cavern, because of course I still need to kill like the Pepperexes and the mummies. And admittedly, I do find ghosts there. So maybe I could go to the desert to find ghosts. But we'll see. So my dinosaur egg is still working away. I can't remember actually how long it takes. I think it is quite a long time. Like I think it's a couple of weeks that it needs to be incubated for, which is actually understandable. There we go. So the oyster, there we go. So they're excited about that. Mostly because actually the dinosaurs, there's a theory that I remember reading recently about dinosaurs and why a lot of the, like for example, birds don't have teeth. Because it allows them to hatch earlier, whereas dinosaurs tended to hatch later and have to spend longer in development in their shells because they had to grow teeth. And that's why a potential reason for one of the other bird lineages, which are the Antiornithines, I think, or otherwise known as the opposite birds, died out because they tended to have teeth rather than a fully keratinized beak. There we go. Pointless science knowledge from the walrus today. I read a lot of scientific nonsense, and paleontology was something that I loved as a kid. It's still something I very much enjoy. I've been fossil hunting a couple of times. I've got a couple of small trilobite fossils, and I know I've mentioned it in the past that I have a Dunkleosteus skull on my desk, because it's just a big scary creature. Placoderms for the win. But fossil hunting is something I loved, and I would love to have, as a kid I wanted to be a paleontologist, which is quite adorable, I think. And my brother wanted to be a pilot. Turns out he's actually scared of flying, so that really went well. Poor old sod. Righty, so we've actually got ourselves a bit more coffee there. So we've actually got enough to make a couple of cups. That's good. I think that when I do build the barn and move most of the other kegs into it, I will keep a couple of kegs in the kitchen to make coffee with, but not anything else. I think it'll just be wine production will be inside of the barn once that's ready. Okay, so I've got 6 more oak resin, so that's enough for 6 more kegs, which is good. Don't have enough copper bars for that though, but I also need to make a couple more what are they called, crab pots, so I'm gonna need a bit of wood for that. So there we go, so that's a bit more of that. So I've only got 300 wood remaining, so that's enough for a barn, but I'm probably going to need a little bit more just in case. Especially, I know we're coming up to the early seasons anyway. I think if I could build it and then move it around, which I think is definitely a thing that one can do with the farm buildings. Where should I put this other crab pot? Let's put it there. Excellent. So I've got myself 3 down there. So that's 8 crab pots. So that's not bad. Got a nice warp totem to the farm, which is good. And now, just to get a little bit more wood, I'm going to cut these trees down. So I found the palm fossil, which I'm going to go and take to Gunther. And I'm sure he'll be super excited for another miscellaneous fossil. So the pig, I'm not sure if it's ready to root around for truffles yet, but next week hopefully it will be, because next week we're going to be entering into spring again of year 2, so that's going to be an interesting thing. Now let's make a bit more quality fertilizer, so I can make 6 this time because of course only 6 are harvestable. Let's grab a few more eggs. I'm gonna have to plant a bunch more grass as well. Thankfully I've got a bunch of grass starters that I'd already previously made, and it's going to be a lot of clearing work. I think that's kind of a given for the first day of spring. It's a lot of clearing, a little bit of planting, and just getting everything organised. And that's going to be the most awkward and irritating thing, is just preparing and organising all of the plants, all of the land, and just generally being ready for spring. Which, it's not the end of the world. Now, that little corner there, I feel, is a little bit of a useless plot of land, and I think maybe putting silos there would be a good way of using it, because of course then they're out of the way and I don't need to worry about it. Now, in the same way, those oak trees that I have that are near Grandpa's shrine, I feel are a little bit out of the way, because I do forget to check them, and I feel that I do need to move them around at some point. Oh no. So Shane's passed out, absolutely smashed in his bedroom, which is not good at all. Shane, don't drink that much, please. I definitely need to visit people's houses a bit more, because I'm definitely not getting all the cutscenes, because I'm not actually going into the houses. I'm meeting them in the streets, essentially, or in the bar. Okay. I do enjoy this way of waking up Shane. I mean, that is not a pretty picture. However, pouring a watering can on his head. Wake up, here's a cold shower. Now, stop being a muppet. Now, the trouble is, it's difficult for Marnie to obviously understand that, like, Shane is clearly depressed. And yeah, it's understandable. It's worrying for people, and it's worrying for those who care around you. But that sentence there is a frightening one. As another human being, sort of, I mean, I know he's digital and all pixely. If somebody was to say that to me, yes, it's I want to help, but I don't know what I can do to help at this point. Now, unfortunately, although the glorious cutscene, Marnie's not in the house. She's not selling her auto grabber, which is annoying. And again, because I've not actually visited Leopold. There we go. That's her name now, Leopold. Whatever. Because I've not visited her before, of course, I haven't seen any of these cutscenes with her. Now, I know in a previous save file I've married her, which is a bold statement for somebody who can't even pronounce her name. And actually, I quite like having her art in the house, because it's quite nice. I do think that there is definitely something to be said about wooden sculpture. Generally, like, wooden artisanry is phenomenal. It's one of the things that my father has a beautiful piece of wooden sculpture that he has at home. He made when he was in school, and I would very much like to have that. But of course, my dad's still alive, and I'm also not going to ask him deliberately, can I have your piece of art? I mean, I hope he wills it to me when he dies, but that's going to be quite some time, hopefully. Because, you know, we all want to think about that sort of thing. But the thing is, he's a very talented woodworker, which is lovely. And again, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of constant phone calls from an ex, because that's essentially what's happening here. She's getting bothered. Again, nobody locks their doors around here, which is a bit of a weird one. Yeah. I think she's right, though, because it's not good. That I can understand where he's coming from with this one, because, of course, doing our jobs, you're not going to make a huge amount of money. And yeah, I understand that. Like, go save up for some money, be able to subside, live. But at the same time, if it's not what you want to do, there is definitely something to be said about doing a job that you love. And the thing is, I'm conflicted on which one I should say. I mean, maybe the ex is an idiot. Never met him. But it's nice that she's going to do the art show, because it's kind of cool. Like, I think her doing an art show like that is more of a conducive thing than actually just doing a what's it called? Selling it online. Also, I didn't realise it was her birthday today. Probably should have given her a loved gift, not a liked gift. Oops. That was stupid. Again, though, I can't remember what she loves, other than, like, maybe, is it the poppy seed muffins, one of her favourites? Or is that Penny? Oh, I need to figure it out. I can't remember. That's the issue I'm having, is rather than having a large quantity of Post-it notes all over my wall, which I have done in the past, I do genuinely have a Post-it note on my wall here, which actually has the which floor is the shift between in the mines, which is one of the reasons I remember where one can find certain things. And yes, I do feel a little bit silly for having that, but at the same time, I don't have a little whiteboard or something, which a lot of my friends who work from home do genuinely have that. I mean, one of my friends is a research scientist, so some of the work he's able to do at the moment from home, or the processing of all the data he has. And, of course, he's a lecturer at a university as well, so sometimes he does give lectures from home and has used his screen for that, his whiteboard for that exact purpose. Still a bit strange, but then again, I think with the advent of a lot more people working from home, it's fair. Drat. I was hoping that Ghost would just solve the issue of ectoplasm and just drop it straight away so I don't have to do it very much. Because I think in the last weeks of videos where I was trawling repeatedly back and forth into the mines, was a little bit tedious. But oh well. Right, let's see if I can find the way down. At least I'm getting a little bit more coal. Ah, there's the way down. Wonderful. And the little soot sprites need to die. And let's see, is there anything else along here? Again, I know I can see the stairs. I'm just looking for coal, mostly. A little bit more stone is good. I know that there's a recipe for stone chests. I can't remember which task gives you that. But once I get that, that might make life a little bit easier when it comes to chests. Partly because, oh my goodness, that's a lot of enemies. That'll give me a lot of choice in how I make chests. Thankfully, though, because it's quite early-ish in the mines, the enemies don't do a huge amount of damage. I mean, the numbers of them, it could get overwhelming. But thankfully, it doesn't look like it's going to be that savage. Which is nice. Okay, so we've got ourselves a bit more refined quartz. That's nice and all, but just not that useful. Let's murder that. Let's give them a good stabbing. Okay, so there's the way down. I am just going to clear out this area because, again, the little soot sprites do have a chance of dropping coal, which is something I desperately need at the moment. Also, I don't know if I've killed enough of them to fulfill the contract with Gil. And, you know, a little bit of healing isn't going to hurt, especially now that I've got half health. Okay, so we've got more slimes, which is kind of a given. There's just slimes everywhere in this place. Now, I'm sort of hanging around a little bit because the ghosts tend to follow you through the walls. So, generally hanging around a little bit, you'll know if there are ghosts on the floor. Because they'll have come and found you by then. They don't tend to just stay in a corner from my experience of fighting them, at least. Okay, so let's smash our way through those little crystals. And there we go. More slimes, more soot sprites, and more miscellaneous gubbins. So that's another useful topaz, because topazes aren't... I don't think there's much that they're useful for, really. But they are a good gift to Emily, because it's a gemstone, and she's kind of fond of pretty much all gemstones. With her holistic, alternative meditation, medicine, lifestyle. She's unfortunately the sort of person who I could imagine being a bit anti-vax. But, you know, maybe she's sensible enough to actually believe in medication as well when needed. But, you know, that's, again, an assumption that I've made about that character. So, again, I wouldn't mind being proven wrong. But some of the characters, you do just get that. And I know I said it before, but Elliot just... everything about him, I just do not like. Okay, so a couple of older bachelors. No, not perfect, Harvey. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is from Haley's diary. Could be wrong. Very much could be wrong. Die, ghosty. Or ghost fish. I can't remember if they're actually worth keeping or not. I don't believe they actually give anything particularly exciting in what they called the fish ponds. Because that's kind of another thing I'm looking for, is anything that can drop anything particularly useful. I know, for example, the octopus is quite a good one to have, because the octopus itself actually can leave you with... okay, I've never had that happen before. Omnigeodes. So I'm now hemmed in. I can't even access that large quantity of iron ore. That's somewhat annoying. And there's a ghost here, who's now dead. But yeah, I've never had 3 stairs, or 3 sets of stairs spawn like that. That's weird. Okay, smash up those boxes, get a couple of cave carrots, kill a bat. And I need to find my way down. Where is it? Come on. It's got to be around here somewhere. No. 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 Well, there's not very many rocks left, so it's got to be one of these four. No, 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 no. Ah, that might explain it. There already was one which I didn't even bother looking for. Well, I feel stupid. But then again, as I've said many times before, I'm not an intelligent man. I do a lot of dumb things. Now, eat a good stabbing. Because that's obviously how one deals with a ghost. You don't bother pulling out the good old Ghostbusters beam. What you do is you slap them with a sword. Even though they're a ghost. Seems to work, though. I mean, it's not even blessed with holy damage. But they're all radiant damage, depending on which game system you're playing. Be it D&D or even the Final Fantasy series. Righty, here we go. Now, of course, one of the other things that I would like to do is I'm going to continue doing this Stardew. I'm definitely going to work my way through year 2 and completing Ginger Island, as I think that would be a good idea. I would like to do it until I've actually completed everything and actually done a full perfectionist run, which I know is definitely a thing. But it's also, I'm not getting entirely Stardewed out, but I do know there are other games out there that I would like to try, such as Graveyard Keeper, which, because I very much like the look of it, and I've deliberately avoided actually ever playing any of it because I wanted to get this channel started up first before I did, because I thought it'd be fun to do as a little project. But at the same time, I'm just seeing if there are any other games that might be quite fun and interesting to watch me play. I mean, I've got a small playthrough of Let's Build a Zoo, which I've been playing just because it came up on Game Pass, which is something I won't say champion, but it is a good thing for me as a player, because as long as I play a new game every month, it's worth it financially for me. I think we're nearly at the end of the icy bits, which means no more ghosts. Die. Again. Let's give this one a good stabbing. Come on. Is there anything else around here? I mean, there might be. Let's have a look. I mean, that ghost is being particularly slow about getting over to try to attack me. So at least there's a step way down as well, and there's a lot of barrels. And I do enjoy smashing up wooden barrels and chests. Okay, so I got a grand total of not much from that ghost. I mean, solar essence is nice and all, but not that helpful. And some hardwood. Now, that's something I do actually need. So let's get rid of the slime. Not slime, sap. I did words. Right. So, I mean, we're getting close to the end of the day, actually, so I should probably start looking at heading back to the house. Because I don't really want to... I can still go a little bit further. I'm not sure if the ghosts have a... I think they do spawn here with the skeletons, because they're still undead. But yes, I think we should probably head back to the home now, because... otherwise, there's a chance that I will end up exhausted and have a lower energy supply tomorrow, which I definitely don't want. Now, I'm going to quickly head on back over to the house. Going to sell a bunch of gubbins and get ready to go to bed. So let's just quickly sell some stuff that I definitely don't need. So that's going to be some cave carrots, chicken statue... I'll hold on to the ghost fish until I can remember. Okay, so I've actually got quite a lot of stuff that's more going to be placed inside the inventories of the stashes that I have. So seeds, fertilizer, ghost fish can live in there for now. What else have we got? Okay, so we've got some wood and some stone and some seeds. Well, tree seeds that are going to live in here. That's fine. And then a few of these bits. I forget if frozen tears are actually useful for anything. I'm sure they are. What they're useful for, can't remember. Okay, so I've got a couple of frozen geodes. So I will take one out and one more coal. just so I can crush that in the geode crusher. There we go. Lovely stuff. And Batwing, this is the wrong chest. This is the right chest. Batwing goes in there. And I think that's roughly it. I'm just going to fling this and the winter root in the sail bin. And off we go. Righty, so that looks like we're pretty much getting ready towards the end of the day. So we've got a little bit of roe and pickled corn to organise. That's not too bad or too difficult. So pop those in there and grab 3 more items out of here. So let's have some yams. Never tried a pickled yam. Sounds like a strange concept to me. But that looks like we're going to be wrapping up ready for the end of the video. So again, if you very much enjoyed watching and listening along, please do like and subscribe, share with your friends, tell them about how the walrus is a crazy Englishman and should definitely be listened to. And was made a grand total of about 2,500. Woo! So much money. But again, I shall catch you on the next Walrus Plays.